Okay, I mean, it seems kind of inconceivable at the moment, but it does seem, I mean, is it your view that agriculture, to some degree, has been left out of the debate on the effects of climate change?
I would say not only some degree, but agriculture has been neglected entirely. In the text, you will find agriculture in the parenthesis and conversations related to RED++ or conversations related to LULUCF, but agriculture is not in the mainstream of the discussions.
How did that come about?
We understand that agriculture is very important for the developing countries, not only for food security, but also for livelihoods. You see that in developing countries, the dependence on agriculture is as much as up to 70%. And you would be surprised to know that it is estimated that by the turn of the century, out of the 10 billion population of the world, 8 billion will be living in developing countries, and they need very sound agricultural practices and basis to have food.
I mean, are you managing to push agriculture now onto the agenda here in Cancun and beyond?
Exactly. Not much work has been done till date on agriculture, and it's disappointing to find that even developing countries not talking much about the agriculture and climate negotiations. I was there in the AWG KPA, AWG LCA meetings, but I did not hear anybody talk about agriculture. Agriculture, when you mainly talk about agriculture, is perceived as a major contributor to GHG emission, but at the same time, agriculture and forestry are the only two occupations which has the potential of not only containing current carbon emissions, but also reducing the stock of the carbon emission. So from the point of view of mitigation as well as adaptation, agriculture remains the key area.
Could you tell me a little bit about the work that you're doing, that your organization is doing?
We have been working on several levels. Our major body of the work lies with farmers, talking to them, assessing the kind of impact agriculture is having on them in India. At the same time, we also work with, try to engage with the government in developing action plan on climate change, and the news is not so good because nationally also we do not see much development as far as agriculture and food security in the context of climate change is concerned.
I mean, you're talking specifically about India, or are you talking further afield?
Specifically about India, but that would, I would say, hold true for other developing countries also.
I mean, there obviously...
At least in South Asia.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there are specific problems that India and challenges that India faces. But with your studies, what can you share from the studies you've done so far and what you've learned so far? Exactly. Are there things that you can teach, information you can pass on to other developing nations?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever you talk about impacts of agriculture, impacts of climate change on agriculture, you will always see futuristic projections. Nobody talks about the impact that is already taking place and manifestations of impact of climate change in agriculture. We have been talking to the farmers and smallholders, marginal farmers and agriculture. Recently, we also had a National People's Tribunal on climate change, food security and agriculture, in which we had testimonies from so many different farmers belonging to different agroclimatic zones and different states, and all of them have been talking about continuous decrease in precipitation, continuous rise in temperature, continuously declining outputs from the agriculture. The farmers have been pauperized. Most of them are migrating to other states. So it's a very difficult situation. In India, you might be knowing that hundreds of thousands of people have committed suicide because you cannot attribute everything to climate change, but climate change has definitely aggravated the agrarian crisis that we are already having for so many years.
Yeah, and talking, well, shall I pass to you? I can pass to you now. I mean, talking to scientists here, they say the solutions are available. There are many of the answers, but it's often the case of funding, that we need to have that funding and a greater will from the developed world. Is that the case in India? Is that the problems could be solved given the funding and the will?
Yeah, definitely. If the developed countries support the difficulties of and identifies the difficulties of the small farmers, and the funding should be reached to the actual needy farmers associations, then some problem can be solved. Some of the state of India have taken some initiative, but I think that it is not sufficient. That it is not a question of livelihood of the small farmers, but it is a question of life of the small farmers. Therefore, the voice of the small farmers, who are the most affected people of the climate change effect, is required to be put before in a discussion in COP16.
I mean, do you come to Cancun generally optimistic, pessimistic about the chances of finding any kind of solution, any kind of agreement?
We have to be very optimistic, because this is not the question which can be solved. This is the issues which cannot be solved within a day or 15 days or 1 year. It is a long process. But if all the developed countries and the association and support of the other developing countries, if something can be worked out on, at least come to the conclusion that the fund should be reached to the developing country and the needy people, then something will be worked out nicely.
I mean, the fact that India is not a signatory to the Kyoto Agreement, does that aid your work, or does that hinder your work, or does it have no effect at all?
I think my colleague Mr. Ajay is very...
No, I would like to correct you here that India is a signatory to Kyoto Protocol. US is not a signatory. That is hindering the process of the negotiations, and since much of the finance and technology transfer is dependent on developed countries, US being the key developed countries, it has been able to hold the discussions to the ransom, I guess. But I would definitely like to also take the previous question that you asked him, that in countries like India, there have been a number of stories of adaptation of agriculture, and it's not that farmers and patients do not have that kind of knowledge, but in other countries it might not be so much. So they definitely need to be supported in capacity building through finance and technology transfer through developed countries. One thing that we must, that the process or the COP must recognize, is the common but differentiated responsibility and historic responsibility of developed countries. All of us know that there is a particular amount of carbon that one can put in the space, and by every ton of carbon you put in the space, there are going to be definite impacts. At least one impact in increase in temperature is for sure. So it's as much about the current emissions as much about the historic emissions, and developed countries must take responsibility for that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.